What's going on, guys? Chuck back with another awesome Blu-ray purchase, and today I'm going to take a look at a very recent MVD release, a 4K release nonetheless, and that would be The Return of Swamp Thing, a movie that honestly I'm shocked got a 4K release, and a very good release at that. Well, actually, it's this okay. This is a upgrade to a previous MVD release, and that was their Blu-ray version of Return of Swamp Thing, part of the Rewind collection. Now, again, this is an upgrade. If you're wondering, all the features on Return of Swamp Thing available on this 4K edition. The only exception that being is that, and this has a reversal artwork, and it comes with the traditional MVD poster that a lot of these come with, where this does not have that. So I'm jumping ahead of myself. Here's you see the 4K Blu-ray. Again, Return of Swamp Thing. I'm blown away that this would get in the 4K. I mean, it's great. I'm glad. Frankly, I mean, you shouldn't discriminate. It's not. I don't want to say it's not a prestige film. Well, I guess it's not a prestige film. It's a fun film. But it's not when you say, "Oh, we're gonna put that in 4K." Return of Swamp Thing is not what comes to mind. But I'm glad it is. I really am. So here's your back, and again, all the special features very similar, or are the same as the previous Blu-ray release. Difference being there is no reverse artwork on this, and it is 2 discs. Blu-ray and the 4K, which if I can get these turned around a little bit. So here's your Blu-ray and your 4K, and again, there's no reverse artwork, and it doesn't come with the poster, so there's no poster, and that's pretty much all there is for this. Now, first of all, let me back up here. I am a big fan of the original Wes Craven Swamp Thing. Actually, it's one I actually saw. We were seeing at the drive-in when it released in '82, and I would have been 82, like 7 or 8, I think, at the time when it released. I think it was '82, and I remember really liking that because I started reading the Saga of Swamp Thing comics that I just released at that time. And this didn't come out till, oh my goodness, I want to say sometime late 80s, 88, 89, somewhere maybe. So quite a ways after the original. And it's a totally different tone from that film. And it's got its pros and cons when you compare it to Wes Craven's Swamp Thing. One, Wes Craven's Swamp Thing is definitely it's campy in a good way, and it's definitely a lot darker film. I mean, obviously it's Wes Craven, but it's got some weaknesses, I think, where this actually improves upon it. Obviously, look at the costume of Swamp Thing in the original Swamp Thing. It does not hold up. As a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid, it looks great. Where I am now, it's a really bad rubber suit, if it's even rubber. Whereas the look of this, this costume looks really good. More, bulky. It looks very alive. It looks very organic. It looks like a creature that came from the swamp and a living organism. Whereas the costume from the original Swamp Thing, as much as I love that film, I've got a poster over there. As much as I love that film, it's a guy in a suit. It looks like a guy in a suit. It just looks like a really a wetsuit. It looks like a guy in a green wetsuit. But again, the tone of this one's totally different. It's definitely going more for not taking itself. I think sometimes maybe the original Swamp Thing was maybe a little too serious or too material. I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Their actors are playing it straight. I mean, there's good performances throughout. I mean, it's got its moments, but obviously it's playing very straight. This one, everyone here is having fun, and it shows. I mean, it's maybe except Louis Jourdan. Maybe he's not having fun because he's sleepwalking through this movie as opposed to how he was in the first film. And I believe he had personal issues or at the time, not quite sure. But outside of that, this is still a fun movie. And I just recently actually went to a Riff Tracks live screening of this film, and it'd actually be the first time I'd really seen it in a while. And I forgot how fun it was. Even without the riffing, it was still pretty fun. So, when I saw that they were releasing this in 4K, I'm like, wow. My initial reaction was, wow, Return of Swamp Thing in 4K. Wow. But I picked it up, and I'm really glad I did. Again, I do have the same MBD Rewind collection. This is their original Blu-ray, and this is the upgrade. Again, the only thing really different is that it has reverse artwork and that poster that comes with this, which this does not have, which is a shame. I kind of wish they would have put the poster here too. So now I don't know if maybe I'll keep hold on to this one just for the poster. That's probably not a good thing. If you saw the last video, that's duplicate last minute review. You try to upgrade, and they're not completing things. You can't really upgrade. Too many things are like, oh, I want to hold on to those. It makes it hard to do so. That's becoming a reoccurring issue now. It seems. I think I have the same problem. I only have the same problem, but I just did for Beyond, and it was a great 4K upgrade. But I still have that Shout Factory, which actually that's not probably the same because there's a Shout Factory version of that is pretty much the same, but for the Vinegar Syndrome was way better. So maybe that's not quite the same, but as far as missing action, but I digress. Great. Just I'm coming on a tangent. I apologize. But again, back to the matter at hand. Definitely, if you're a fan of this film, this is the way to check it out. Again, relatively priced. I believe it's under $20 on Amazon. Just released, so it's fairly nothing. It's only been, it's got like a week or so ago, I think it was. And I think I heard through the grapevine that I believe, I don't know if it's MVD or not, but I think it was that it was going to be, I think they were going to be releasing the original Swamp Thing in a 4K set. And when I read on that, I really wish I could remember who the company was. I believe it was MVD. Was getting the rights to that. Again, I can't remember who it was in the article, but I believe I read an article that not only would the U.S. theatrical cut be getting the 4K restoration, but the unrated international cut or European cut, whatever it was, the one that has more of Adrienne and her Barbeaus, if you will. Which fun story about that, actually, talk about duplicates of Swamp Thing, as I do have the Scream Factory release, which had the Blu-ray and the DVD. Of course, both the theatrical cuts. But before that, and I still have this, I have, let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here it is. Look at that. I have the MGM DVD of Swamp Thing. I don't believe it's nothing special about this. However, this was the mistakenly released European version that was also released in your taste, which has the extended scenes of AJ Barbeau bathing in the swamp. That's why I'm holding on to this disc. I've got Blu-ray upgrade. I held on this simply for that fact that this is that mistake print DVD. So I did hear again, like I said, that version is supposed to be getting a 4K restoration as well. And again, I wish I could remember who it was that supposed to release that. And that's just news in the pipeline. I haven't heard anything like an official release, so we'll wait and see what's to come down the line. But I'm looking forward to that. So that's enough of my rambling. MBD, 4K, Blu-ray, Return of Swamp Thing. If you enjoy this film and you have not picked up, or you haven't picked up Blu-ray, or if you haven't picked it at all, pick it up now. It's available. Very, very affordable. and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And you get, a great opening credits, comic book credits with Credence. Uh, Fantastic. So, that is it for me. If you enjoy this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know which one's your favorite Swamp Thing. Is it the original Wes Craven Swamp Thing? Is it Return of Swamp Thing? Is it the TV series? They written out, not the most recent one, although that can be fine. Which I never saw that one. Actually, I didn't see either TV series because I know there was a popular series on USA in like the 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember what it was on USA. I think it was USA or syndicated, but I know it was always on USA here. I know they had the series that came out a couple years ago. I think it was it on the DC streaming service that lasted like a year or two, or I don't know if it released anywhere else or on HBO Max. I'm not sure. I heard a lot of good things about that. I never got to see it. I know it was only lasted one season, which is too bad. And I believe in this whole new DC Universe reboot that James Gunn is apparently doing. I heard he has a Swamp Thing theatrical feature coming down the road, which I'd be excited to see because I always did enjoy the character Swamp Thing. I said, after seeing the first film, I read those early '80s comics and really liked it. So I'd be interesting to see a newer iteration of Swamp Thing. So I'm over rambling again. So with that, I'm Chuck, and I will see you on the other side.